When I think about fire, the element fire as it pertains to astrology, um, what comes to mind is the sun. What comes to mind is lightning, that spark of life, you know? What comes to mind is a bonfire, adoration, attention, should I say seeking or wanting or craving, but also warmth, passion, intensity, leadership. That's fire. It's it's contagious. It's very social. It lightens the space, the place. It burns things. It touches. Yeah, it's unnoticed. Everywhere it goes. That's fire. There is just an exu an exu 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 the word I'm looking for. It exuderance. It exudes when I want to say that it exudes um confidence. They just emit confidence, you know? That's what I see, that's what I feel when I think about fire, the element of fire. And in it, there is, of course, Aries, which is the first of all the zodiac signs. No surprise. Spark of life. And then there is Leo, the fixed sign. And then Sagittarius, the adventurer. You know. So fire is interesting also because it kind of, like I talked about lightning, because that's a form of electricity. It's a form of fire also, because if it strikes something, it can burn it as well. It can cause damage, but it's also that spark. It's that bright light, that intense energy that just comes out of nowhere, and it just shines so brightly, and then it just is gone, you know? So there is a lot of speed, there's a lot of passion that just lights things up, and you cannot not notice a fire sign. And then there's also the other aspect of fire, which the lightning aspect of fire, I kind of associate that a lot with Aries, but I'll get more into detail with Aries as I start to break down all the signs individually. But I associate like lightning with Aries because it's very fast. It's like super lightning. They're also very like impatient people, but I'll break down that into more detail later on. But then when I think about Leo, like for example, I think about a bonfire. They want to be adored, adorned. They want to be watched, They just want people to sit around the bonfire and just kind of watch them and, enjoy their warmth and just be in awe of their burning flames. Their burning fires, a beautiful red, orange, color, that's just coming out of it. And, you know, so there is that. it's also communal, isn't it, in that way? A little bit like water, isn't it, hey? Um, that also fire has that quality of being something that's communal, um, um, that if you have a bonfire, people sort of like sit around it and it keeps them warm, and people they tell stories, and you know, um, and they have all these experiences where they share with each other around this bonfire. And the one thing that they have in common is that they're enjoying this bright light that's just bringing warmth out of them, uniting them, you know. And that speaks to the leadership qualities of Leo also. Is that it unites, it's the leader of the family. And it just loves it when when its children or its partner or its people surrounds him or her, and they admire his or her strength, his or her warmth, so fire is also communal then in that sense. But then there's also, well, of course, it burns. Like if it goes out of control, it's gonna burn. We've seen like forest fires. It's where it's been just like disastrous. So there's that element as well. But then one other aspect of it that maybe this speaks more to the energy of Sagittarius, which I will also get into much later, is that once the fire is done, then you have the flame that kind of floats into the air and it just goes. Because the thing is with like the bonfire is that it's stationary, it's fixed, like Leo. So once you place it in a certain place and you burn it there, that's where it's gonna burn. And then the thing is, like with Aries, you never know where that lightning is gonna come, and you never know where it's gonna strike. You just know if the conditions are right, that lightning is about to strike, and that it will strike. You just don't know when and where, you know? And with the bonfire, you know it's gonna burn, you know it's fixed, you know it's there. But then once the fire is done and you have the flame, floating in the air, sort of, it moves, doesn't it? It's it actually moved. The smoke. I was trying to refer to the smoke, not the flame, but like the smoke actually starts to move. So it actually shifts away, even miles or kilometers away from where the bonfire originally was. So that speaks to the mutability of Sagittarius. Um, Sagittarius embodies the smoke in a way. And that's why it's called, the adventurer, the archer, you know, because, you start a bonfire somewhere, the fire burns down, it dies out, and then the smoke continues to spread for miles and kilometers, and it casts this, dark, you know, black cloud, of smoke wherever it goes. But it goes. That's the point. The point is that it moves, is that it goes, and that's like the mutability of um of um of Sagittarius. So there is that element of fire also, that it has mobility, as that it moves. It's not as solid, for example, as the earth signs that are pretty much fixed. Um, so there is some mobility, and there is some fluidity to it, kind of like water. And I'm always drawing a lot of reference to water here because, I feel like water has a little bit of all the signs to it. So that's why I always keep making reference to the water signs. Um, but I should stop doing that, like when I'm doing the fire elements, because maybe you guys would not be so pleased with that. But yes, there is mobility. There's this warmth, and also because there is this warmth, it's fire people are also very caring, and they're very passionate about the people that they care about and the things that they love. They bring a passion and an intensity that's really unmatched. Again, this is their strength. Their strength lies in their passion, in their intensity, and their dedication. Wow, like dedication and commitment, unmatched. unmatched. And this is no surprise because this is their domain. They, like the air sign whose domain is the mental faculties, and the water sign whose domain is the emotions and the feelings, the fire signs, their domain is passion, as the spirit of things. They bring spirit, they bring fire into things. That's why when you would see an actor or a performer, performing, and somebody would say, "Oh, you have the right emotion, um, or you have the right idea, you have the right thought." So you see, again, the air element there, or you have the right emotion or the right feeling, the water element there, but you're missing some fire. You're missing some spirit. Put some fire into it. Put some spirit into it. And so there you have the fire. Um, element. And all of these elements, of course, are equally important, and all of them are part of our human experience. Like in that analogy that I was giving, like you could have a good idea, but not have the emotion for it. Or you could have a good idea and the emotion, but lack the intensity or the commitment or the dedication or the passion or the spirit for it, or you could have the passion, the spirit, but not have the emotion or the idea or the logic. So all of these things are intertwined, and they are interconnected, and they feed off of each other. But the air signs, for them, that passion and that intensity just comes naturally. you know they just have it in like abundance, in large volumes. um and Yeah, so they just have this passion, and they have this intensity. um they can also be a little bit on the jealous side because of how passionate they are, about their people, or about their endeavors, or about their projects. Highly, highly competitive people, as well, because they just have that drive, that oomph. It's something that just comes so naturally with the fire signs. And of course, with the fire signs, we have a Leo, we have Sagittarius, and we have Aries. Yeah, Aries, of course, the cardinal, and Leo is the fixed, and Sagittarius is mutable. So I'm going to break those down a little bit more in detail as um, as this continues, like later on with um, I'll make some new recordings with those. But this, I think I'm gonna end it here. These were supposed to be actually around 10 minutes or less, but I've gone over 10 minutes because I'm so passionate about these, and I just keep talking and talking and talking. So I always have to kind of time myself, and I've gone over 10 minutes. But yeah, that's what comes to mind with the fire signs. Very warm people, very passionate people, very social. Also, it's very social, especially when you think about Leo, for example, or Aries. They're very, very social. Even Sagittarius is also very, very social. Of course, Sagittarius is much more social in the way that it likes foreign things. Like they're social in like a foreign sense. Like they like foreign food, foreign culture, foreign music. They might even date people who are foreign from them, like from a foreign country. um might not maybe be so social within like their local vicinities, but like when it comes to things that are outside like their vicinity, like a foreign country or foreign culture, Sagittarius, they're so into that because they are all about knowledge and new experiences, and that's why they are half man and half horse, because they just want to be on the go, on the run. Whereas Leo and Aries, they're a little bit more maybe fixed on their localities, on their premises, proximities, but still social nonetheless, because that's their domain. Um, I love fire signs. I love air signs as well and water signs. Yeah, I love everyone. I think, these are all important. I think that we all humans do embody all these elements, on varying degrees, because our natal charts have a little bit of everything. Some people might have a little bit more fire and some water and air. Some people might have more air and less fire, but nonetheless, we do have all of these elements somehow in our charts, and it also depends where you have them. Do you have it in your sun? Do you have it in your moon? Do you have it in your Venus? Is it in Mercury? Is it in Pluto? Like all of these things also factor in the expression of these energies. And of course, I'm going to be making more content regarding these vibrations, depending where they fall, like which planets they fall, and also which houses that they fall in. Is it in the first house, your second house, your third house? Um, um, all of those things factor in. And is it a cardinal energy? Is it a fixed energy? And what does that mean? Is it a mutable energy? And what does that mean? So all of those things, yeah, I'll be making some content as well on that. But I'm going to end this here now because I don't want this to be too long. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate that you took time to listen to this, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. Please do like so that I know that this is something that's of interest and that you like, and also maybe share your experiences on what it is that that you've experienced about fire signs or fire sign people. And if you are a fire sign person, please put your sign in the comment section so I know how many Leos we're watching, how many Sagittarius we're watching, and how many Aries we're watching. And just anything else that I maybe forgot to mention about fire signs. Also, please put those in the comment section as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching once again. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell just so you know when new content has been uploaded. And with that said, thank you and ciao.